It is What's Up, Flobo, episode number 37. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, watching this show, and all the other episodes. A lot of things going on this week. I know Love is Blind, the finale dropped on Netflix, and the after show. I was a part of the after show this go around. So I want to shout out to all the people I've slid in my DMs to tell me what their takes are about the show. It definitely was an experience to be a part of. Love is Blind on Netflix, and I liked it. I like the fact that I have new people saying, "Yo, you believe what happened with Lauren and Cameron?" And I will say this: I am not a relationship dating show person. But I learned a whole lot. So if you haven't checked that out, the after show for Love is Blind dropped this week. And thanks for all the new fans. Do I have fans? Do I have followers? I know what this is. So today, What's Up, Flobo? We've done everything on the show so far. I mean, 37 episodes in. So we're talking about sports. We're talking about DJing. We're talking about favorite books. We're talking about TV shows. We're talking about pro wrestling. Today, I'm going to go back to comedy just because I was inspired by a series of tweets from Daily Show news correspondent Roy Wood Jr. Flobo fact, actually, the role that Roy Wood plays on the show, the black correspondent, I actually auditioned for years ago when Trevor Noah was taking over. So I was like to go see how Roy is doing it. Go and check it out if you haven't. But the series of tweets basically alludes to the fact that, hey, look, the young comics, and by young I mean newer comics to the game, because you could be how old you are. Newer comics of the game are in this system of exploitative structure from promoters and the comedy game with hopes of quote unquote making it. And it seems that there is a monumental indifference when that class of comics move up the ladder and they look back down on the new crop of comics. In other words, people have this set idea of what it takes to be a comedian, and promoters and managers and fans and groupies take advantage of that. And it really hit me in the heartstrings because a lot of I agree with, and it's interesting to me because where I am right now in my comedy career, I look at Roy Wood Jr. as someone who's already made it. Like, oh, he's good. He got that TV show exposure. So it's very interesting to hear someone, at least in my estimation, didn't have to say it, but came out and say it. Now, before I get into what can be done to fix the system, I want to go into the bitter side of things. I want to tell you my experience with it and with comedy and why I think it's broken. Like entertainment or even any kind of career, there is a desire to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and to excel. Entertainment that way plus more, because you're facing this invisible clock of time. Oh, I won't be as cute next year, or maybe my type won't be in for leading roles next year. Maybe I can't get booked because I don't have an Instagram following this year, that sort of thing. In comedy, the structure has not really changed in about 50 to 60 years. Like, so after the death of vaudeville, and by vaudeville, that means like you have like the comedy hour, and it'll be a part of a circus act that will go from town to town, and you and your buddies just go to the local community hall to watch magicians and comedians. The modern stand-up, the I am a comic, here's me at this touring club, or I'm going on tour with different clubs, hasn't changed in about 50 years. And the idea is that if you go and you write your material and you perform and make one room your home room and it kills, then you get booked for that second room and you keep going, getting booked and getting money until you break. And that means either being in a starring movie or being featured on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, or having your own Netflix special or what have you. You break that way. And then if you keep breaking and you keep doing more and more material, and then there's more offers that come in, like hosting award shows and then the HBO specials and that kind of thing. That hasn't changed. You can swap HBO for Netflix. You can swap The Tonight Show for Up Late with Lily Singh, but the idea hasn't really changed. And the problem with that is that every other form of entertainment has, right? Remember the days of saving up $25 to go down to the local Tower Records or Sam Goody to buy the giant CD or the long case? And we just accepted that until one day Target and Walmart were like, no, CDs are $10. And now it's like, CD, what's that? We just stream, and it's a whole different mechanism. But for comedy, that seems to be the case, because those who establish have this mentality, look, I grinded, I did it, you should do it too. And I understand that you want toughness in the next crop of people coming after you. I know when I graduated college, I looked at freshmen and it meant, if you only knew. But there really isn't much compassion there. Because, like, for example, like myself now, I'm at a point in my career where I'm pretty much plateaued. I love the plateau I'm on. I'm enjoying the hell out of this plateau. But if you want to be objective about it, it's a plateau. I am creating comedy content, which you can stream. So I'm a little bit above a new person, right? But I'm not getting booked for bigger rooms, or I am not being able to live on comedy alone. So I'm kind of in that same spot, right? So that's why I feel like I'm in this plateau. There really isn't much resources out there because those who made it don't share. And those that haven't can sit there and tell you and be all bitter about it. Like, oh, comedy sucks. I don't know why you do it. That's why I got out of comedy. That's why I drive Uber now, for example. Now, I'm not going to Uber drivers, but I'm just saying. So now, someone in my position doesn't know where to go or up or down. They don't know whether to quit the game completely or they should keep grinding in hopes of being discovered, right? Talent is like a flare gun in the middle of the ocean. You can hit that flare gun all you want, but if you're alone, no one's going to see it. Okay, so back to Roy Wood Jr. He's saying this, like, hey, look, man, there's so many comics who don't know any better, who get swooped up by a booker that makes sure they say, oh, look, for me to be on your show, you got to bring 15 audience members, or they pay comedy album recording companies $200, $300, $500,000 to record their albums, but gives them no insight to releasing their stuff. And it's frustrating. And then if they somehow get lucky, if they move up, they cross their legs on the Ellen DeGeneres show and go, hey, I struggled, I hustled, but I'm here now. You know, like there is no community there. And I really feel like even though the job is solitary, you know, being on stage, there surely should be a bit more of a community there. There are comedian groups on Facebook of which I am a part of, but we are the worst. We like to say, they don't book me because of my talent. They don't book me because I don't have Instagram followers. Or, hey, this newbie comedian asked me about making jokes about X, Y, and Z. I told him no. Ha, 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 ha. Let's laugh at them. We don't pull each other up as comics. We try to high five them and say, hey, man, good set. But that's pretty much where it goes. I can't tell you one comedian that if I'm ever in a car accident or I have to move or I have an emergency, I can call and say, hey, you're my best friend who happens to do this art form. What's going on? Now, there are some people I think are good friends that we did comedy together. We started around the same time. But like, I haven't met a working comedian and go, hey, man. And that's kind of thing. We're kind of all in it for ourselves. We want to tell you that it's all about this community, but it's not. Not the way you hear about the days of the Comedy Store guys who went out just to hang out and talk and drinks and then talk and all kind of things at the same time. Talking, drinking, talking, all that. It really is, I'm in it for myself. If someone gets ahead, someone gets signed, there's a little post saying, hey, look, thanks for everyone helping me out. Period. There really has to be a community here on the comedian side for that to work. We really got to say, no, we're not going to work for free. And in LA specifically, there are people who are about the craft. Like I am just a comedian. There are people that want to do comedy just to be multi-hyphenate. Hey, look, I am a dancer and I'm a rapper, but I want to add comedy too. There are people who don't like comedy at all, but they're urged to by their management or agent team. Hey, take a comedy class, get more of your range. And so it's really hard to suss them out. Which one is about it? Which one is it for fun? Which one is that doesn't really like it, but is doing it? And we just kind of just build up the walls. Now, the industry can all help us out. I don't know if fans know how many shows are out there outside of New York and LA where comics get paid. You go to a random comedy club that's open twice a week for that reason, because it's expensive to have a comedy club. They pay their comics. But in LA, you can work for free indefinitely. You can work for free. They can even say, hey, look, you need to bring 3 or 4 or 5 people or else you don't get on stage. And your people that are paying tickets to see you live are paying for parking or paying for drinks. Sometimes the clubs don't count food purchases as drinks. It becomes a huge side business endeavor where these small promoters who do these bringer shows around town can make a certain living, I'm not saying they're rich, but a certain living doing these shows off the back of new comics who have a bunch of friends that come out to see them, on the backs of comics who are just trying to get back into the groove and is willing to play by the rules just to get new material out there. That becomes exploitative. And what happens is comics who are really good say, I'm not doing bringer shows. And if you're saying I'm not doing bringer shows, you're within your right. But to the outside person, it looks like, oh, here's being lazy. You don't want to hustle. You don't want hard enough. In fact, you can say, this is me getting political now, that the comedy game is a microcosm of the American society these days. People are struggling out there. And before saying, hey, look, you're struggling, let's find out why we are struggling collectively and work on things to minimize that, knowing full well that we're going to have our own struggles regardless. It's, you're soft. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Got to keep working, bro. Got to make more content. I can't tell you how many times I say, hey, look, it's kind of difficult for me to do stand-up, and someone sends me a clip of, and I love him to death, Tony Baker, one of my favorite comics. I worked with him. I opened for him a couple times. People say, hey, look, man, Tony Baker is doing these clips where he's talking over animal noises. You should do that too. I was like, wait, your answer to why I'm not getting any stage is to take another man's concept and make that work for me? I appreciate your insight, but it doesn't quite apply. I'm not going to take a person I know personally's entire bit, Instagram or otherwise, to get myself ahead. Eric Sermon, the rapper, has a line from his album Chilltown, New York. And Chilltown, New York isn't a great album, but it's the first album I played in my first car, so I won't forget it. In the title track, or Relentless, in the song Relentless, he has a line, and he goes, it may not be nothing, but I wrote this here. And I've totally lived by that. So if I'm sitting there and I'm saying, hey, look, I'm struggling, your answer is to take someone's concept or idea and use it for my own, someone I know personally, it's like, no, I'd rather be obscure and suffer than to do the things that I know will be exploitive or unfair. And maybe that's why I get what I deserve. Maybe that's why I'm sitting here in my bedroom being like, I wish I got booked more. But the comedy system is broken. It's no longer linear. Having a Netflix special isn't the you arrived tag, because you and I both know, as a fan of comedy, the specials on Netflix are going for quantity. There are some specials that are trash, and there's some that are really, really good. So that being a milestone, no longer the case anymore. Having an album used to cost thousands of dollars. My album was self-released for about $300. The walls are breaking a little bit slower than music, a little bit slower entertainment, but we should work together as comedians to build a community. Promoters should know that entertainment, just because it's from an individual, is not any less valid than, say, hiring a band or hiring a circus act or hiring a contortionist to an event. And that's my 2 cents on it. I always tell myself these things are going to be 7 minutes long, but they always run super long. Somebody stop me. Please like, comment, and share about the show. Thank you for those people who have this week. I saw them, and I appreciate that. Don't think I'm saying, bah humbug. It's just, I got to do the whole call to action, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that. You guys are amazing. Until next time, of course, peace out.